All right, so I am back here in my Among Us file, and I just want to go over a couple more of the modified tools and how they work. So we're going to make some additional changes to this drawing. Uh, you'll see as we go, as I get you familiar with some of the other tools. So I'm going to use the offset tool right now. So if you're in the draw panel, go ahead and click on the modify panel and go down to your offset tool. Now I'll left click on the offset tool and notice the command comes up to offset a select object. So, so if I come here and let's say I want to offset this whole outside perimeter of this part, and I click on the arc part, notice only that arc highlights. And I could offset this whatever dimension I want to offset it to until I get so small that it won't let me go any further uh, on the inside, or I could go on the outside. However, as you can see by the highlighted line, it doesn't give me the whole perimeter. So I've got individual entities here. So I'm going to escape out of this and we'll just kind of use this tool for just a second. Let me kind of show you. These are individual entities. So I'm going to click here. Now notice how this isn't just a line, it looks like an L. So I'm going to escape out of that. Let's go over and I'll come back to the offset tool on this side and we'll click on this one. Notice that looks like the reverse of an L, and there's a reason for that. Remember, we created the rectangle first. We created a 2-inch by 3-inch rectangle, and then we went into that rectangle. We deleted the top line, horizontal line of the rectangle out, and then we came in and we trimmed out part of the lower horizontal line as well. So in addition, so what we basically did was we cut up that entity, and what's remaining are the remaining parts of the rectangle. So if we wanted to do all of this as one perimeter, we would have to use what we call our join feature. So I'm going to go here now, and you'll see right here with these two arrows is the modified join tool. So I'm going to left click on that. And then it says to select the source object or multiple objects to join at once. So I'm going to left click on the arc. I'm going to hold the shift button down and also left click on that left side. And now I will go ahead and come down here and hit the check mark. That has now joined these. And if I go to offset this now, you'll see as I select this, how now it's given me the whole joined members. It's made those one entity instead of multiple entities. So I'm going to use that now, and I'm going to join this whole thing together. So let's go back to the join tool. I'm going to click on this, which now shows a highlighted blue line. Pressing my shift key, I will also select this line, and this line. And again, those are individual entities because of the way we drew that. So we drew that as 3 lines. If we'd drawn that as a rectangle, it would be showing one entity. So sometimes it's more efficient to do it one way or the other. All right, so now I have the whole perimeter of that selected. I'm going to hit the check mark now, and now all of those are joined together as one entity. Now I can come in and offset this. So we'll go ahead and click this now, and you can see all of it is able to be offset. And I'm going to offset this 0.05, 50 thousandths of an inch. All right. I want two more offsets here. So I'm going to right click. So, I'm still in the offset tool, so I don't have to do that. We'll cancel that out. It releases me from that command, but I'll show you in the next one. So I'm still going to offset this tool here and this tool here. So let's go back, left click on that offset. I'm going to select here, and we're going to offset this going to the outside by 50 thousandths, 0.05. I hit enter to drop that in place. And I also want to offset the backpack, but in this case, I'm going to go inside with it. So we'll click and offset 0.05 again for 50 thousandths, enter, and we've got those lines offset. Now I can go ahead and hit the escape button, or I hit the escape either by physically checking it or checking it twice. And I have a little bit more definition there on my Among Us character. We've used the offset tool now, we've used the join tool, so giving you a couple others. One more feature that we're going to use is the copy. So, you know, when you guys are playing the Among Us game, there's not just one Among Us character, there's lots of characters. So I'm going to come over here now, and the copy tool is a modified tool here where we're going to left click on that, and then it says copy selected objects. Now I could go in and I could start individually clicking on everything, which is going to be multiple clicks to do it. So there's an easier way. I'm going to window over everything. So I'm going to put my cursor up here on the to the above left hand corner of it. I'm going to left click, hold that left click button down, and I'm going to window over just by drawing my mouse down into the right to the lower corner, and then I'm going to let up on the key. Now they're all highlighted blue, so I've now copied all of the objects and all of the entities that I want. So I can click the check button here. Now it says to copy specified base point. So I got to select a base point. In this case, you just have to think of something logical that might be good to use. So I could kind of go off of a corner here, this lower right hand corner, the lower left. If I got a center point, if it makes more sense to go off of a center point, you can use that as far as your base point. So I'm going to click, and again, let's turn our object snaps back on so that I kind of get that auto tracking there. So I'm going to click this lower left hand base point, and now notice I can copy it. Now because we have O-Track on, notice I can place one directly here where it's in line horizontally. I can click one here where it's in line vertically if I wanted to, or I could come off. Well, we're just going to kind of start this and kind of just place these. You know, when we're playing the video game, they're not kind of really in line with each other. They're just kind of all over the place. Usually there's 10, 15 of them. So just go ahead and click about and place about 15 of them on there. So you can pan in or zoom out if you need to. So and get more in place. So where am I up to now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm going to place another one here, one up here, and one down there for my 15. And then to get out of the command, again, I can either go ahead and click the escape button. I can come down here and hit exit, or I can right click and hit confirm or cancel to get out of that. All right, so now I've got all of my Among Us characters. I got 15 of them. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to now save as, because I want to rename this file. So I'm going to now save this as lots of, I know, nothing fancy with this name, lots of Among Us, and click save. All right. We're not quite done yet with this video. Let's see about getting rid of some of these. So again, I'm going to select a lot of these objects. So I'm going to left click up here, and I'm going to window over. I'm holding the left click button on my mouse, and I'm windowing over to highlight all of those. Notice everything comes up. Now I hit the delete key on that. So I'm going to delete out all of these for just a second because I want to show you one other feature. So we'll hit that delete key and going this way, delete those. So I'm left with only the original one that I have. Let me do a zoom. So I'm going to type in zoom and hit A for all. So it brings that in, and I'm going to come back now in my draw panel. I want to show you what this linear array, or what this array tool does. So I'm going to select the array. Notice it wants me to select objects again. So I'm going to window over and select all of these. And I'll go ahead and hit the check button. Now it's asking me, do I want this to be a rectangular array, a path, or polar? Well, in this case, I want the rectangular, what's already highlighted. So I can just go ahead and hit enter. And notice now it's given me lots of them out. I'm getting 12 of these, and I can change this out however I want it. So, and I can make some changes to the spacing. So if I click this first arrow here, notice at this point I can kind of change the distance that's between these. So I can kind of physically make it what I want to be. There's some other settings here. So I'm just going to kind of click in there for right now. If I click on this arrow, that shows me the number of columns that I want. Notice I can go 5 columns, 6 columns, 8 columns. We're going to do 10 columns this way. So now, keeping that same spacing, I'm going to click on this arrow up here, and this is my rows. Notice how right now it's set to 3 rows. So I'm going to click on there, and I'm going to go right on up. I'm going to zoom out. So we'll zoom on out, and we're going to make 10 rows. So we'll be 10 rows and 10 columns. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'll zoom out again. So as we go, so just keep zooming out. My connection is slowing up a little bit, so we'll get this. So now if I can't see that, well, I'm going to go ahead and place that for just a second. Notice I can also say, well, the number of columns that I want. If I click on this, notice I've got 9 columns right there. So I can change that physically using my key here and just hit 10 and enter. So let me escape out of this. Okay, and let's go zoom all, bring everything in, and now I should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Nope, I do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I got 9 there. Let's go back in. If I just kind of click on this again, notice it brings it up again. So let me zoom out, and I can again click that button, and I can go ahead and modify this. Now I got rows of, and I'll just type in 10 here for that row. So hit escape, do my zoom all. Now I've got my 100 Among Us, so we'll save this one too. So I'll go save as, bring this up, and rather than have lots of Among Us here, I'm just going to name this 100 Among Us. Click save. We're done with this now. Once it gets saved, I can go back to the main screen. So get that little warning maybe if it's not done saving. So back to the main screen now, and I have all of those drawings, and I'm done. And I've shown you some of the different modify tools on this one now.